to become conscious, as you said, needs to put your brain to work. It needs some effort. So having, a little bit of a map, a little bit of a guidance on how to direct this effort properly in order to have a result is very important.
If I work on a project that I'm excited about, it's fairly easy to go through the rough patches. But if it's an endeavor that I'm only doing to make money, it becomes really hard when there resistance is coming up. I'm way more likely to give up. But if I'm passionate about this, if this is close to my personal mission and vision, it becomes very easy to withstand anything that comes, right? Welcome to another episode of the Love Not Fear podcast. Today, I'm super excited to have my dear friend Anastasios Spanidis live from Greece on the podcast. We're together in the O, and he is an absolutely amazing individual and very successful entrepreneur. He's the CEO and president of GPA. It's an ecosystem of companies. It's a multinational company starting in Greece. And I'm excited to nerd out with you on how the Love Not Fear concept has impacted your personal life and how you've been implementing this in your business journey. Tassos, thank you for being here.
I'm very, very happy to be here. You are also an exceptional person, David, and I really admire what you are doing as well, because the concept Love Not Fear comes, as I know, from deep in your heart and how you perceive world, and it inspires me that you want to share it. So I hope I can help with my experiences to make it, for more people to resonate with the concept Love Not Fear. So regarding your question, how I understand it in my personal life and in the business life, I have to give a little bit of my background. So right now I'm 42 years old. I'm going to be 42 in May. And I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 18. So you can understand that when you are 18, you don't really understand the dangers and what exactly you are going to do, not only with business, but in life in general. But for some reason, I decided to become an entrepreneur, even that I had army in front of me, because in Greece, army is obligatory. I also had the university and the studies, my master's, and so on. So for some reason, I decided and went into being an entrepreneur. What did that drive it? It was a deep, I will not say need, but a deep feeling that this is what I like to do. So love actually drove me there. Of course, there were motives. I wanted to buy a car, for example. I was 18. My father said, I will not buy you a car. And I said, okay, I'll do it myself. So there was a motivation, and there was a reason to do it. But the decision was actually taken through the love that I had to be creative.
What was the first business you started?
The first business is Generation Y, still exists, 24 years in the market. Now it does digital transformation. We are on doing integrations, B2C, B2B systems, so we can lower the operational costs and sell more products or services for our clients, and digital communication. We are very active in 24 countries, and we work with some major clients like Pulte, which is one of the biggest construction companies in the United States, like Alumil, which is one of the biggest companies on aluminium in 16 countries, and so on. What I wanted to say is that entrepreneurship, in my understanding, is all about creativity and freedom. And in order to be creative and free, you have to be courageous. You have to be able to open roads. So it's paramount, I would say, need to love what you do in order for you to be resilient. If you don't love what you do, all the obstacles will look like mountains. If you love what you do, all the obstacles seem like, a nice beach. And it's like, okay, it's fun, serious, let's see how we do that now. So this is a quick, if I can say, wrap up on the entrepreneurial side, how I perceive it.
I can just second that. If I work on a project that I'm excited about, it's fairly easy to go through the rough patches. But if it's an endeavor that I'm only doing to make money, it becomes really hard when there resistance is coming up. I'm way more likely to give up. But if I'm passionate about this, if this is close to my personal mission and vision, then it becomes very easy to withstand anything that comes, right?
I feel you. I will tell you this. When I said to my father, I will buy the car by myself, I said it because I had the audacity when I was 18, and I was like, I'll do it in 3 months. Now imagine I'm 18 years old, I have never worked, and I'm going there saying I will buy a new car in 3 months. My father, of course, he was laughing. He didn't take me seriously. But something happened in my mind, which was this. The goal shifted from buying the car to being accurate with my word and what I said I will
Mm.
do. So consistency was more important than the item. Why do I share this detail? Because I understand what you say. The money or the car or the house or the material, whatever it is, a bag, shoes, I don't know, whatever everyone wants, is not, how to say, a real motive. The motive comes from co-creation. The motive comes from, uh, being productive, by this feeling that, when something uh, is completed end to end, and you have participated either with your idea or your labor or your collaboration, the self-fulfillment is much bigger. And guess what? When you add value, you get the house, you get the shoes, you get the car, you get everything. But then these things are nice, and of course I want and I wish everyone to like them and enjoy them, but they are not the purpose. So the purpose is above this. If you have a strong purpose and you are true to this purpose and you put the effort, so yes, there are some must do, but then this whole purpose makes the life a little bit better or a lot of better.
I'm thinking with the promise that you made to your father and then also to yourself, I think this can also go into the other direction that some people may only do it out of fear of not looking bad in front of, like, not, to break your word basically. But so I think there's definitely some danger there. But if I totally agree that money is a side effect of providing value. So if you figure out how can you really provide value to people, money will come almost automatically. Right.
Yes. I can share my experience, which was not the fear that drove me. I think fear creates, it paralyzes you. It creates a stall. Love creates a movement, creation, doing something, action. So the moment you go into action, you know that love is what actually spoke to you. The moment you stay dormant, you know that fear was a reason that possibly did it. So, it has to do also with your values. I didn't know that back then, that being consistent is one of my values.
Mhm.
Now, at 24 years later, at my 41 going to 42, as I said, I consider it very important. I want to be with people that they say one thing and it means one thing. It doesn't mean three other things. And guess what? This builds long-lasting relationships. This builds trust and respect. And I can share that a second value that I abide with is integrity. I think it's above all, because if you have integrity, then the collaboration is working properly and all the trust and respect is being built, the time is there, the value is there, and things change. Because when I do something with you that actually adds value to a lot of people, then even some mistakes are forbidden. Everything smooth, it becomes more smooth, everything becomes more solid. And the power of two is bigger than the power of one, but not in an equal way. So 1 plus 1 in the brain power equals 3. Plus
Mm.
1 equals 6. Plus 1 equals 15. And if this is a good collaboration, is a collective wisdom that actually transforms into action and results, then it's multiplied by 5, whatever the number was that I said earlier. So when you understand that, you don't see the people as a mean to your end. You see the people as the enhancement of your blind spots, of your knowledge, of your idea of whatever one's purpose is. And this is a mindset. Uh, I feel gratitude and fortunate enough to have reached that mindset because I have created new friends throughout this journey. I keep creating them due to the fact that I love to do business. I love entrepreneurship. As I said, it's about freedom and creative, and I want to be free and creative.
Yeah, I think that also what you said is like playing the long game. It's compound interest, and it's a real thing. And seeing that you've been doing your Generation Y company for 20 plus years, I guess like over time it compounds if you don't burn bridges, if you treat people well, if you stick to your word and the act of love and you provide value. It's easy to play the long game versus like if you are in a acting out of fear, it's like usually always more the short game, or you focus on scarcity, not on abundance. And one thing you shared with me, I'm not sure on which EO retreat it was, but when you put in a CEO into your company to run your company and there are some issues, and team kind of everybody got together because the values are so deeply ingrained inside of the organization. I think it's a really beautiful story to share, and also very much in line with Love Not Fear.
First of all, let me say this. Um, if I may say, it's not about a long or a short game. It's about having an infinite eye or a finite eye on what you are doing. For me, I built my business with an infinite eye. How did the Romans call Rome? The eternal city. So they were building the city to last forever. I'm building a Rome, or at least that's how I feel. What is my effort put at? Um, when you have an infinite eye on what you are doing, the decisions you take are more solid, and the decisions you take resonate a couple of years later, even if you are transforming, because business is something, it's like water, it flows, but everything resonates. Of course, the decision has the value of the time that it was taken. And the pieces of these decisions create the final culture and understanding of where you are now. Why do I say this? Because imagine that I reached to a point that Generation Y became the industry leader in Greece. We were exporting at that point in 24 countries, and I decided that I have to evolve as well. So it was time for me to leave the position of CEO. And the way I did it is I created a supply chain in front of my eyes. And I said, okay, I will start acquiring companies so I can fulfill more services for my clients. How can I help them more? And how can I do it in a more affordable way for them with better results for them again? One of the things that I had to do was to find the CEO and place him in Generation Y. So the interesting story here is that the CEO that I was preparing, for his own reasons, didn't feel comfortable undertaking the company, which I think fear played a role there.
Hmm.
For whatever the reason, the fear can be logical, can be illogical, but the fear made a stop from this action, and he didn't take the position. Now, when I found another CEO from the market, so I didn't go through the culture, the new CEO could not adapt on how things were happening in this culture. And he didn't, and this is the biggest, I would say, mistake, in my opinion, that he didn't win the people to onboard his way of thinking, his style, and his leadership. Now, the team, because there was a very, very powerful culture, united to protect the company from decisions that they thought that the CEO was taking. Now, is this right in a business environment, hierarchical? No, of course it's not. But I find very interesting how the culture is being shaped by the team, not only by the leader, and how a leader, if doesn't win the people, you lead by yourself alone, you are not a leader, you are a unit. It also created this, let's say, understanding of powerful C-suite members that I had and I have to come and say, you know what, I want the position. The myth for the CEO is left after we saw the fear and the mistakes, and we are ready to undertake it. And guess what? everything came into place. Evi Bukoru is right now the CEO of Generation Y, a 10-year um, partner, working together this journey with me in Generation Y, 20 years in the market on digital transformation. And, I also feel, let's say, proud that we have a female leading the company because, it's only in Greece, unfortunately, only, if I recall correctly, 5% of female CEOs. So things came into place. To be honest with you, I had no fear. Not even in the hard times, not even in the strange times, not even the good times. I know that we are there, we give 100% of ourselves, things will come into place. And I can share with you that I believe a lot, and it resonates with me, what Stoics. I don't know if you are aware of Stoicism. Stoicism say that, you know what, if you cannot control it, don't stress about it. If you can control it and you give your 100%, and then don't stress about it because you give everything you have. So in the end of the day, there's nothing to stress about. This doesn't change the level of seriousness that the things have, but it changes the perspective. It gives perspective on how you can act and work around them or on them and so on. So yes, things came into place. The group is created. We are actually driving now to a 17 companies group of ecosystem of companies. And I'm very proud about the people that become partners of ours, of me, and what we are actually delivering to our clients. I love seeing them grow. And if I may say, GPA stands for growth, prosperity, and abundance. I say it because you mentioned abundance, and our mission comes exactly from these words. We are here to deliver growth to our partners. I'm all about growth. If a client comes, a possible client says, you know what, I want stability, I'm not the right person. We are not the right team. But if you want growth can be expansion, exports, hiring more people, bigger revenue, better EBITDA. It can be a lot of things. Then we are the right person. And if we grow your company, then this will drive more hiring from your side. You will pay more taxes, or you will do more R&D, more investments, which is prosperity to society. Because I'm a strong believer that the private sector is the one that creates wealth through the added value that adds not only on the shareholders, but also to society. And if you do that in a sustainable way, but sustainable not only on the environment, unfortunately, for good or for bad, environment is a byproduct for business, but for your energy, time, and money, then in this life, we bring abundance. So, abundance to humanity. That's why growth, prosperity, and abundance. Growth to our partners, prosperity to society, abundance to humanity.
Yeah, I've so many comments, but limited to the. I'm a born Stoic, maybe because of my aphantasia, but kind of being Stoicism. If any of the listeners have not checked out Stoicism, please read up on Stoicism. The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, really amazing book. And it just makes life so much easier, as you said. Like, there's no need to stress about things you cannot impact. I used to stress about a lot of things, but then I decide to only focus on things I can impact. Everything else I really don't care about. And secondly, if you always do your best, then there's nothing to stress about. On the topic of growth, business growth is one thing. The other thing is personal growth. I'm a huge personal development geek. And I think with acting out of love and not out of fear, personal development is like a key thing especially for the individuals to, if you personally grow and if you have kind of focusing on the managing happiness concept, if you really figure out what you really want out of life and then you figure out your habits and how to achieve this, it's going to be much easier to act out of love and not out of fear because you have your ducks in a row. So personal growth, what's your take on personal growth?
I will share this with you and the audience. A leader, if does not focus on his personal growth, he will lead in the level that his personal growth is. So what is the level that you want to lead? It's directly connected with your personal growth. I saw myself being reinvented faster and faster. It took 3 years for the first time to understand it, 2 years, then 1 year. I reached to a point that I could reinvent myself in a week. And, this is progress. So it's imperative, it's very important, the leaders to work on themselves in order to grow. And but this is one of the promise that I give to my CEOs in GPA, that I will invest, and I expect an open mindset on your personal growth. That's why I actually did the Managing Happiness program to all the CEOs of GPA. Now, guess what? It worked. They started doing new habits that were more focused on what they wanted to achieve. Personal growth creates, the standard and the bar on the level of results you will have in your company and in your personal life, because you will be more happy. So yes, I'm a big advocate on do it's the best investment, whatever you can, for your personal growth. And this is another reason that I admire what you do, because you found a product, a service that actually does good and generates profit, so it can do more good and generate more profit and do more good. So it's a positive circle. You created something, that does only good. No one can hurt from this, and the impact becomes bigger. And this is one of the things that we as entrepreneurs do. They think we want to make a lot of money. No, of course we like money. It's not that we don't like it, but you want the money so you can do a bigger impact. How many lives can I influence if I'm making X amount of money compared to 10x amount of money? Now, does everyone do it? Of course not. But I will focus to the people who do it. Why do the billionaires become philanthropists? Why do they have their own NGOs? Why do they? It's all about doing good. In the end of the day, most of the people are good. Most of the people are good. We are trained, and by the media, to focus on the bad.
Mm.
It's like this classical story that Einstein does 1 multiplied by 9, 9, 2 multiplied by 9, 18. He does only one mistake in the end, 10 multiplied by 90, by 9, 91. And everyone is discussing, like, you see, I did 9 right, you focus on the one wrong. So, Love Not Fear is amazing because you found something that actually only generates good, positivity, progress, freedom, I can keep saying. And this inspires me. And that is why it's not a secret. We are discussing right now how Growth Point here in Greece to bring the product in Greece and help other CEOs and other people, to evolve their habits, to focus on their personal growth, to become a better person in general.
On the personal growth inside of companies, I think it's. I initially started managing happiness to implement it in my personal life with my wife and I. It was like how to apply business principles to our family life. And the next step was to implement this in the leadership teams of my businesses and then cascading it down to everybody in the business. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you have your ducks in a row in your personal life, well, let me take one step back for the listeners who are not familiar with the managing happiness concept. The idea is to run your life the same way you run a business, and to define the mission and vision and the goals that you have in each areas of your life, like you yourself, mind, body, spirit, your family or your relationships in your life, and your and you as the professional. I used to be a one-trick pony, only focusing on the professional aspect and completely ignoring my wife, my family, my friends, and also me personally, like health-wise, and realizing that if I really focus on myself as well from a health perspective, I'm actually much better in business. And so cascading this down made all the sense in the world to me to pass it on to others. And on the topic of nonprofits and like doing good with this and making money with this at the same time, I it's not a very popular opinion, but I'm not a fan of nonprofits because they feel like cars without an engine. Some idiot always has to push the car. Not idiot, like somebody has to push the car or the car doesn't drive. And so building a for purpose business was like way more appealing to me, to build a business where you make money while doing good. And that's why I'm also like focusing most of my time now on spreading love and fear and managing happiness as a concept that makes money and also helps other people to make money um, while doing good.
Yeah. Um, First of all, thanks for sharing. This is one more thing that I admire about you, how transparent and open you are with subjects that it's for sure a little bit hard for some people to touch, either because they have not worked about on them, or because it's really hard to share with the public. We neglect ourselves or our families, especially businessmen that they are focused on the mission, because that's what it is. You are focused on the mission. You are on the, you are on a battle. You are there to win. You are there to provide. You are there to deliver. You are not there just to have a good day. Now you can do all this by having a good day, but um, I want to share. I will give my understanding on the subject you raised. I strongly disagree. Don't believe, hate the work-life balance concept. In a seesaw, the seesaw is on balance the least of the time. It's either up or down. So when this came like a very, popular thing, I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to say about this. And all my communication strategists, Tassos, don't say about don't believing in work-life balance. Everyone is talking about work-life balance. Let me share what I believe at. I believe in harmony. And the pie, it's a cake. The harmony is a cake. Let me share what I see as pieces on the cake. I see business. I see friends. I see family. I see personal time. I see health. I see spirituality. I see wealth, because wealth is what I produce per month. I see fortune. It's a different thing. It's what my father, he had one house or 100 house or nothing left me. So it's a bunch of things, and my harmony might come in this period because we are human beings with 5% family time right now. Later, maybe I need 80% family time, but we need to have at least 1% in everything. So you said about habits. How do I create the habit to focus a little bit, this 1% on spirituality, on my health? How do I understand that I have to give at least 1%? Maybe later I will understand the benefit of 1% in health and do it 2%, 5%, whatever. So it's not about work-life balance, as I said. It's about having a harmonious life. And it's not that you brought the system from business to family. It's because you understood, in my opinion, how the harmony works, and you said, okay, how do I also create harmony? I can do it by creating some rules. Business works like this, it creates relationship. Why cannot you use it, for example, in family? Of course you can, because this creates deeper connection. You don't take the wife, for example, for granted. How do you work with a C-level? You build the relationship. Do you do it with your wife as well? Do you spend time with your team, or you see them once per year? I have to see my kids. If I see them once per year, guess what will happen? The same that will happen with a partner of mine, and so on and so on. So yes, this is my life's, let's say, understanding regarding how this can work through harmony. And again, love not fear helps a lot because you build the habits and you understand where you should focus right now, what you have neglected. It gives a better perspective anyway in the whole thing. Sorry, you wanted to say something, but I really wanted to share this and add value to the people that will resonate with my concept.
Thank you. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I also don't like work-life balance because it feels like a tug of war, work and life, like pulling on each other, and it's all connected. It's all part of each other.
Mm,
I like work-life integration
mm,
to have, for example, sometimes I go with my daughter and my wife, we go to the beach and we hang out there, and then they play in the water, and I play with them as well, but then go back to the restaurant that's there and work for an hour, so kind of like it's possible to do both. But what I also want to do with managing happiness for others, what I'm doing with myself, to become conscious about the things, about what I'm doing, because one trick pony, just focus on business, 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 and then forgetting about family, etc. Because like, oh, I have to provide, but I'm doing all this hard work for the family, but at the end of the day, my family has enough. We're doing good. There's like, there's nothing lacking. And also, it's like then kind of like really reflecting back on like, am I really doing this for my family, or am I doing this for myself, or am I just doing this because I'm on autopilot? So one key thing with managing happiness is to really reflect on what you really want out of life, and just be conscious about your actions and not run on autopilot, because society tells you have to do this, or you do this because you think this makes your parents happy, etc. To kind of really figure out what makes you personally happy. One quick anecdote from one participant of the Managing Happiness course: we built a vision board as part of the one of the exercises, and he put like a fancy supercar in the middle of the picture. And 3 weeks later, he said, like, I don't know why I put this there. I don't even like cars. So it's because, but society tells you you need to have this.
If you were near now, I would hug you. What you say makes so much sense for me. Listen, to become conscious, as you said, needs to put your brain to work. It needs some effort. So having, a little bit of a map, a little bit of a guidance on how to direct this effort properly in order to have a result is very important. And this is how I see the managing happiness tool. It's a tool, it's a map, it's a compass. And it's a compass that you can decide where to go. It doesn't tell you where to go. It just shows where the north is, where the south is. You decide where you want to go. And this is the beauty of it. It's not coming to tell you how to do things. It's coming to make you more conscious of what is important for you. And, if you can put less effort, let's call it like this, in order to understand a little bit better life, a little bit better yourself, because it's all about the journey, not about the destination. How much do you enjoy the journey? How many times have you shifted from the journey? As you said, autopilot. How much does the society tell you what you should do? What do you mean? We are individual. The diversity is one of the most beautiful things. I wish the society could do, in the frame that we respect each other, of course, everyone to be free and do whatever everyone feels better. Because if people were more happy, guess what would happen? All right? And yes, in the end of the day, it's all about people. The classic saying that it's not about how many money you made or what you did, but it's all about how you made people feel. That's what they will remember. So, if you are your true self, then trust me, you will have a bigger impact, because people will be influenced, impacted from you, your energy, your dreams, your collaboration, your inspiration, and so on. And every human being has a capability of being an inspiring person. So yes, to conclude, and based on what you said, I agree. This is a compass on finding a little bit better and understanding yourself.
To kind of come back to business, you have a business with lots of employees and actually lots of businesses. How do you, and one part of Love Not Fear, we have like the personal side, which is managing happiness. The other side is how to create a business culture where people come to work out of love and not out of fear. Because most people, I think, especially employees, a lot of them just like do their job only because they have to, and so they can pay for their rent.
Yeah.
And they also only do the tasks in their work so they don't get fired. And you probably know by yourself, like if you're excited about something, how good you do the job versus like if you just like do it because you have to. And so we're about like creating this culture of love not fear inside of an organization. What's your take? What do you do in your companies to create a good culture?
I will be very, very specific on this. So, you know, you are right that this, in this modern world, presentism, the meaning of someone coming to the office just to be there in order to make ends meet, is a problem. And it's not a problem for the companies, it's a problem for humanity, because people are not happy. So, how do we tackle it? I have three tips to give here that came from doing a lot of mistakes. So this is the conclusion of a series of mistakes. It's a trial and error thing. So it was error, 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 error. Oh, something works. The number one thing that leaders should do is to be authentic. Authentic means I understand myself first. I understand what is my message, what is my purpose, what is my vision, and you cannot make anyone do anything. You can, but on the other side, you can put the value that you see and you understand the table. And trust me, some people will be attracted from this and the team will be created. This creates culture. The second thing after authenticity is communication. It's different way to speak and it's different to communicate, to understand each other, to feel each other, to logically understand each other, to in all levels. So communication for a leader is like the key to open the door. So you want the door that expresses you. Is it a metal door? Is it a new door? Is it an old door? But communication is the key to open this door. And the third thing is to be very solid on how you position the vision. The vision has to be something, big, even not realistically tangible, but this is what creates, the movement. This is what creates the belief. As Nelson Mandela said, nothing seems some things seems impossible until it's done. So I want to give an example. I am vice president in a company in the United States that does something similar with what you do, David. It's called SEO Coaching International. It has a different twist because they open the P&L, they go directly to the EBITDA and to the revenue, and they help you there. How can we grow the company? Now, the CEO there thinks big. That's why make big happen is his motto. Now, I like what he did, which is that he decided one day, in order to pass this message, to say, I want to go over an elephant and enter into a venue with an elephant. So they had to tear down a wall. He entered with the elephant. He passed the message. Everyone was laughing. Guess what happened next day? Everyone was half laughing. What did he do? Crazy person, thinking big and so on. The next day, everyone was sketching on the office elephants. They started bringing miniature elephants. Suddenly, the elephant became the emblem of the company. So, thinking big is actually an influential thing, and it drives you there. What did Elon Musk do? He was saying, I will go now with the rocket up to the moon, and then I will come back with the same rocket. Everyone was laughing. Some people believed him. He was near bankruptcy, he did it. Now suddenly he's a hero. We don't think about, the media and everyone judging him about what he was doing. Same with the elephant, same with SpaceX, and so on. So the third thing I was saying is to have a solid vision that looks impossible. Don't be with fear, don't be afraid to think big. Because we, as humanity, we are proceeding from the people who think big and from the people who believe in this vision and this big thinking and drive progress.
It's beautiful. I love the thing that Mark did with the elephant. It's to kind of really drive the point home. My last company was bought by StackPath, and the founder of StackPath had SoftLayer before, which was a hosting company. Very big. They were bought by IBM for $2.4 billion, and this was like 15 years ago. So back then, company has been sold for billions. It was like unthinkable. And he did a similar thing when his engineers were building the network. When they started, and they were in Texas, so he came in with like these giant tools, these giant wrenches that they use on the oil rigs, like 2 meter long wrench type of thing, and he placed these tools on each developer's desk. And it's like, what is this? Why do you put this in here? And he said, whatever you think you're building, think bigger, and this is like, for them to drive the point home, So I think it's really, really powerful. And you made me think, like, what can I do, or what we can do for love and fear and managing happiness? Like, what is the elephant? What is the wrench? What can be the thing to give to people to.
You have said something to me that it's like this. You said to me at a point, if I recall correctly, I want 1 billion people to be influenced by this. This is very inspirational. Now, this is your judgment. Like, what 1 billion? Let's see if we can have 5,000. That's how it starts. I really believe that you can impact 1 billion if you are doing only good. Do you understand? Your product has no controversy. Cannot be judged. Disagree with what? Making people happy? Making people understand themselves? This is crazy. So, you have done a positioning that comes from your heart, and this is the authenticity. Let me see these traits to you. Okay, I know we do a podcast. I don't want to be like saying how great person you are and you how great person I am, but I do see that. So on the three things that I said, you are one of the most authentic people that I have met. You stand your ground on the things that you believe without judging the others that have a different idea. You have a big vision. You are like, do I say it? Do I call it a religion? Do I call it a movement? Do I call it, what do I call it? This is big. So I want to influence 1 billion. So there is a thinking big, and you have the key. You walk the talk. You put it in motion. So yes, it's about hard work and consistency. After that, then you go to the second level. How do I put it in motion? So yes, I think you already have it, David.
Very much appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. I'm also very inspired by this, but I was looking for the visual or tangible thing, because like saying, okay, 1 billion people is one thing, but kind of showing up with an elephant so people draw elephants, or giving people like these giant tools so they have like a physical, tangible thing for them. Actually, with the new company, with StackPath, it was a security company, and he gave all the founders a black baseball bat with the founding founding date, etc., engraved in it. So I'm looking for the physical thing that kind of really
For now, I have lots of fear everywhere.
Same here. Yeah, you see it here as well.
Because it's a reminder. It's not only about yes, it's a nice message. It reminds me. And do you know how it helps me a lot? Seriously, when I see in a meeting, no matter if it is in a board, as you know, I'm in quite a few board of directors. I'm in 18 board of directors, some major companies that are world-class companies, and some smaller companies. And sometimes I can see the fear of change. I can see the fear of taking the initiative. And this little sticker actually reminds me how to properly navigate and show the love, so the way that this positively will impact if we do it, instead of start discussing about the fear, because the fear is there. So let's see how we can balance it with the love. And guess what? In the biggest amount of times, love wins.
Hopefully, at least that's my my mission, to make sure that love wins. Even though I think right now, and according to actually my favorite book, which is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, he makes a statement that 89% of people are driven by fear, and that they make most of their decisions out of fear. And so let's change from 2% to at least above 50. Taz, my friend, thank you very much for being on the pod. Very much appreciate you. Thank you for all the knowledge that you've shared. And yeah, let's do this. 1 billion people. Let's start. Let's put the count on the website.
I'm very happy that I'm here. The reason I gave this time, if we can influence even one person towards a positive direction, towards entrepreneurship, creativity, freedom, love, not fear, then we actually did good. And this is a little bit karmic. I think give the good, give the love, it will come back.
Yes, I believe in that. Awesome. Thank you very much for being on. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much.